Hello, good evening, welcome to Easy 8's Online Painting Club. My name's Danny, says it right down there at the bottom of the screen as usual. I'm late, and I'm so sorry for that. I was doing a little sound test, possibly far too late into my evening, and then realised that I had no audio. So I had to do a bit of a system restart, so I'm really sorry about that. I feel a little rushed, so I'm going to take a moment, a mindful minute, just calm. And it's nice to see so many people in the live chat. I can see that we've got Adrian, we've got Jeff, we've got Leslie, we've got Kez. Hi guys, thanks for coming along. Haven't seen Adrian in the live chat for a little while. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for coming. There's been some wonderful stuff going on Facebook. Just before the show went live, people have been putting up photographs of all of their projects on the Facebook page on this week's listing. So it's great to see all the stuff that you're doing. There's been some fantastic stuff out there. John from the States, Out of This World Models and Minis, has put up a picture of the old Battle Dalek. It looks incredible. I believe that was like a commemorative Dalek that was released for the 25th anniversary back in the show, not the actual model. And as far as I'm aware, like John's trying to get it ready for the 60th anniversary. 60 years of Doctor Who, that's incredible. Anyway, look, if you're new here to Easy 8, this isn't a tutorial show or anything like that at all. There's a load of that stuff in abundance out on the internet. Well, I implore you, go and find those people because they are much better than me. This is simply a channel where you can come along, make some friends, chat to some old friends, get some stuff painted. That's the idea, just come along and paint your stuff and kind of get some paint on that big plastic pile of grey that we've all got. I've tidied mine up, actually. It's looking pretty tidy here in my studio right now. But yes, we've all got those plastic grey mountains. So come along, make some friends, and for the next 2 hours, you can join me painting my stuff. And I'd love to see some photos. So if you're working on something this evening, or you've been working on something for a little while, take a photograph of it, pop it up at Facebook, because we're not just here on YouTube. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're here on YouTube. We're on Discord. I've never ever got this right. We're on Discord at the Easy 8 After Party, where if you want to, at the end of this show, you can come and join me for a little while on a video chat if you want to, or you can just type if you feel a bit camera shy. That's absolutely fine. If you just want to join me and the rest of the crew that come along, you're welcome to. And you can put some photos up there because I'm genuinely interested in the stuff that you're doing. I get inspired, I get motivated, and I hope that you guys do too, because that's the whole point of this show. So yes, I'm just looking through my listing for this evening. We've got some new subscribers and some new followers on Facebook because last weekend, last Sunday, myself and a portion of the Easy 8 community went to the North Devon Model Show, which is just a stone's throw from where I live and where a few of the community guys live, and it was a really nice turnout. It was a really nice show, and it was funds being raised for charity as far as I'm aware, which is great. And we got to see a lot. It wasn't like a trader show as such. It was more of like a come and have a look at the cool stuff that I've been doing and that sort of idea. And there were a few traders dotted around as well. And some of the stuff out there was absolutely spectacular. Some of my personal favourite stuff was the Gustav guns from World War II. There were two of them side by side. Absolutely fantastic models, displays and dioramas. They were wicked. And my other favourite was the Jerry Anderson corner. I'm going to call it the Jerry Anderson corner because it was just everything Jerry Anderson. They had all the Thunderbirds. They had, it wasn't flying, but it was hanging up nice and high. A Thunderbird 5 with a Thunderbird 3 docked into the side of it. They had a little diorama of all of the Thunderbird 2 pods with the Thunderbird sat over the top of it. And the conveyor, man, it was just awesome. And I'm a massive Jerry Anderson fan. They even had UFO stuff there, a big tribute to Space 99. It was a wicked weekend, and if you went, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you didn't get to go, I'm sure they're going to run it again in the future. So, you know, watch this space. It was brilliant. Not only did I see all these really cool stuff, but I also made some new friends while I was there. And I want to put out a big shout out to Dave or David at 3D Gizmo. Dave comes from Dorset, which is pretty much next door to where I live in terms of counties. I live in Devon. Dave lives in Dorset. And he runs a community on Facebook of the name 3D Gizmo, which is attributed to people, all the people within the hobby of making stuff, you know, models and things like that. And his speciality is 3D printing, hence the name 3D Gizmo. Not only is he very good at designing stuff, but he's very, very capable at printing stuff. And some of the stuff that I saw there was just mind-blowing quality and just such a true gent. Not only was he there, but he was there with his wife, Kirsty. I hope I got that right. And one of your daughters who I met very briefly, and I can't remember your name. I think No, I'm not. Do you know what? I'm not even going to hazard it. I don't want to make a fool of myself on the internet. But do you know what? It was lovely to chat to you. And what I really appreciated from Dave was that he shares the same ethos and the spirit of what this hobby is all about. Got no time for rivet counting or anything like that. If that's what you're into, if you're into the super high accuracy of history within your hobby, then there's a place for that. But I'm not very good at what I do. So for me, I just enjoy putting them together, learning about, if it's a historical piece, I enjoy learning about the item that I'm painting, and I've learned so much history through it as well. And I just enjoy putting paint on things, you know. Scanning TV's joined us again. Hello, nice to be back again. Hi, Scanning. Thank you so much for coming along. Nice to see you there in the live chat. Yeah, do you know, it was just a wicked weekend. I really enjoyed chatting to Dave. And what we've done is I'm not going to say we've amalgamated. That's the wrong choice of words. We have teamed up, I suppose. We've made friends on Facebook, and we've kind of connected. Hopefully in the future our communities. So if you're interested in the 3D printing side of the hobby that we do here at Easy 8, you should definitely go and check out 3D Gizmo. There is a link to 3D Gizmo in the description just down there of this video, along with lots of other really cool traders and businesses and people who've got YouTube channels. You know the score. Every week there's always something down there. Go and check him out. Go check out Dave with 3D Gizmo, because if you're into 3D printing, they are way better at it than me. I've got a little Ultimaker 2 Plus just sat over here out of the shot. But the stuff that Dave is doing is just fantastic. So he was doing resin prints in 1/35 and 1/16 scale, tank crews and things like that. Scanning TV, they're saying the model show was really good. It really was. I'm not just over speaking it. But he also does diorama buildings as well. So all those figures are designed to go along with your tank crews or AFVs or whatever. And they're all done by resin printers. And then he's got all these dioramas that was absolutely fantastic, and they're all FDM printed, and it took a closer inspection to see, because there is a distinctive difference between resin and FDM in terms of the layer lines. And I was like, no, I see it, but my goodness, the detail and was just incredible, and how you got that FDM printer dialed in so well is just beyond me. Well done to you. Dave was selling his stuff while he was there, but I want to make it known that Dave isn't a trader, so you can't go into 3D Gizmo and buy his stuff. You might be able to arrange something where he might print something for you, or maybe go to a show where he's going to go sell some stuff. But please don't bombard Dave with, I want to buy your goods, because that's not what he's all about. He sometimes makes stuff to sell, but yeah, get chatting to him, get chatting to the community over there, because I've got a feeling there's quite a few of you who are into 3D printing. If you've got questions, these are the guys to talk to, and I'm not making it up. They're some of the best stuff I've seen printed. And just really nice guys. So I was talking to Dave briefly last night by Messenger. Just fantastic. And yeah, Scanning TV there, right, absolutely right. Bigger than expected. Had 5 or 6 cool 5 to 10 minute chats with helpful, enthusiastic people. Came back inspired. Genuinely, absolutely the same. I also got to meet the Pit gaming shop. I keep calling it the gaming store, but that's not correct. The gaming shop. And we got very enthusiastically discussing Recon show on the 2nd of December, and I'm still waiting to kind of get talking to Matt, who runs the Pit Gaming Shop. But he's very, very busy at the moment, and I'm waiting with glee to talk about what it is that we, Easy 8, are going to do at the Recon show in Pudsey, which is just between Bradford and Leeds. I hope I've got that geographically correct. But very excited about going there and doing some stuff. In the meantime, Leslie's saying, cheers for that, Dan. I'll keep that in mind for some 3D printing advice. Yeah, please do. These guys are the guys that you want to talk to. Become a part of their community, and hopefully we'll invite some of their community into ours as well. Cool. I'm going to take you over to the workbench now, where I'm going to start painting, continue painting my Tyranid Gargoyles that I've been painting for the last couple of weeks. Haven't done anything on them this week. It's not been very busy at work. It's just the responsibilities. I've just been overwhelmed emotionally. It's all right. But anyway, here we go. Please, if you like what we do here at Easy 8, subscribe, because it's such a small gesture from you, but it means such a big thing to me. And every single subscription is precious. I genuinely mean that. So if you do like what we do, or even if you don't and you just feel sorry for me, please subscribe and share the word. Get it out there, tell some friends, and hopefully we'll start seeing some subscribers from 3D Gizmo. That'd be great. And while you're at it, give us a thumbs up, because thumbs up are great. Cool. Here we go. I've got a new monitor, and it's still doing the flicky green thing, and I hope that you guys aren't seeing that. I don't know why it's doing a flicky green thing. My screen just flickers green for a second. I hope that you can't see that. What you can see, of course, is my cup of tea. Cheers, happy Friday. That tastes like scolding. Brilliant, okay. Oh, that is a good cup of tea, though. I was going to say that it's cooler today. The rain has come this evening. But I've done what I always do, and I start screaming and shouting and get very excited. And now I'm sweating. Whew. Anyway, here we go. So, my gargoyles. So, I'm just going to move that out of the way. Got a bit of clutter here on the table again. Last week, I started painting the carapaces grey. Now, I do 3 tones of grey: dark, middle, and light for the recesses, the base tones, and the highlights. And I normally start with middle tone, shade dark, and then highlight light. But it's hard. So I started last week by giving it a try, by painting them all the dark colour, and then highlighting 2 layers, 2 steps. And it seems to be much better. What I need to do, if I have a little look at this fella here, if I can zoom in on him perhaps. Here we go, here we go. A little bit out of focus, isn't it? A bit weird. What I want to try and do is get the sort of the lines, the streaky lines, to make it look like that sort of cracked toenail effect. Which is something that we keep on using on this show as a term, which I'm not entirely sure I like. But I think otherwise it is generally a much quicker way of highlighting. So yeah, gonna bear that in mind. What I've done is I've based a few of them dark grey and then start doing the highlight steps on there. But I think what I want to do is try and keep them all together in terms of the steps. And I'm just going to carry on putting some dark grey. I'm at that kind of monotonous, tedious stage of painting these minis, so I've just got to persevere and crack on. So, without further ado, I'm going to pop this little bad boy out. Cacaw. I assume cacaw is a word that gargoyles maybe say. Anyway, I'm going to bring some light into the subject here. Here we go. So, I'm just going to put you here. I'm going to get the little cork that I like to use to hold these things in. There we go. And you've had a bit of a tidy up, so I don't know where anything is anymore. Eshin Grey. This is the grey that I'm going to be using for my the dark tone. Going to give it a shake. Give it a shake. And here we go. I'm going to stick it on the Easy 8 Wazomatic. Give it a waz. Come on. Go a bit slow. So, over this past week, things that I have done up here. I've got a new monitor for the rig here that I'm looking at you on. Hello. And that has been donated to me by my partner. Thank you, KD. Because she had a desktop downstairs. It's a really good desktop. It's got 3 terabytes on it. It's not a gaming rig or anything, but it's a really nice rig. And she just is going to get rid of it. So she gave me the monitor, and it's nice. There's a proper little flat screen, and if I shine this light too harshly that way, it reflects. I can't see anything. Waz. No flicky green screen. Flicky green screen. Great. Yeah. Cool. Brilliant. I'm glad that you can't see that because it's frustrating. I didn't notice any green flickery, but to relate to tea tasting, like scalding, you know, it's a great cup of tea. Yeah, I like it to be not hot. I'm not a hot person. But it's a few degrees away from being perfect. Cool. Eshin Grey then. Let's get some of that in the palette. Just the side here. Scoop some out. And works best when watered down. And I've got quite a bit of it to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to water down with a little bit of flow improver. It really helps. I had to really deep clean my airbrush out just the other day because ADHD flared up and I did not remember to clean it, and it was bad. It was very bad. It seems to be flowing good though, which is great. Where's my flow improver? Here it is. It's for the airbrush, but it doesn't matter. It's good. Good stuff. I think I still need to move this camera a bit further away because it's still not being an autofocus, but not being I don't have control over the focus on it. It seems to be the focus point's like here, right at the table edge, and it'll only get better if I lift it up a little bit. So let me know what you think about the quality of the camera. If it's a bit rubbish, do let me know. So I don't like rubbish. I am trying to improve the quality of the show. Like I said at the end of last week, John from Out of This World Models and Minis put a little comment on the end of the video, which I didn't actually reply to. But well, here I am replying. He said, "Wow, that was a fast and furious and very exciting last 5 minutes." You're right. I had a lot to say, I think, and yeah, I just I went a bit mental, didn't I? Sorry. I do get excited, and I need to rein that in a little bit. Should be a calm evening for you guys to come to. Should be that safe sanctuary. You know what I mean? Okay. Should be a safe sanctuary. Yeah, it should be. Right, so I've got my Eshin Grey. I can't remember what brush I was using last week. I think it might have been my little Army Painter Regiment brush. So, do you know what? I'm just gonna start bold. Just go in with this one. Okay, roll my sleeves up. And you know, I'm getting so overweight, I don't fit in my shirt anymore. It's quite embarrassing. Here we go. So, make sure I'm in shot. I'll make sure that I don't headbutt my microphone. What are you guys painting this evening? I would love to know. If you are painting something, do tell me. And like I say, you can pop a photo up on Facebook to show everybody else. Maybe you just kind of want to celebrate a little victory. Maybe you got something done. Maybe you've achieved something that you don't normally achieve. Maybe you're struggling. Maybe like, I just can't get past this bit. It's really put me through the hoops. Or maybe you're just like, look what I did. Did a thing. And I do genuinely get motivated by seeing all you guys painting. I actually try to compete with the amount of stuff that you guys are getting done. Adrian, who's in the live chat now, painted has painted up the Lionel Johnson, the new Primarch from Games Workshop. It's a brilliant paint job, Adrian. I really like it. You went for the beardy face and not the masked helm, or did you do a selection of them all? Because he comes with about 4 different heads, doesn't he? And what you've also done is you've included a picture of all of the Primarchs released to date. And do you know what? I didn't realise that Magnus was so huge. Because the Loyalists are actually, you know, whilst they're still giants among men, they're tiny in comparison. I didn't realise there was such a size difference. And that does make the Demon Primarchs look all high and mighty. Magnus is a wonderful model as well. And I think you've done a really good paint job on him too. Some comments going in. Thanks for the tank battle the other night, by the way. We burned well, didn't we? Yeah, so Jeff from Purple Lion Creations came up and met me and the rest of the Easy 8 community, and we played a game of What a Tanker. Dave, who normally joins us in the live chat, myself and Jeff, we teamed up and played Allies. And we took on a mutual friend of ours, teamed up with Stafford, who often joins us in the live chat, and Kez, who's there now. And they beat us good. They beat us good. I was the last ally to survive, and I felt ganged up on. It was good fun, though. I think I've just ever so slightly overwatered down my paint, if you can believe that. And struggling to control the paint. I might have to change brush. And this brush here doesn't have that finer point on it, because I over trimmed it when I bought it by just such a tiny degree. And it really has affected its ability to take a point, which means that I can't do high detail bits with it, or kind of get it into nooks and crannies and stuff like you often want to be able to do. And yeah, so it's kind of fallen away as one of my preferred brushes, and that is totally my fault. But if I'm just painting like large areas, it's a bit of a workhorse, really. But in a minute I'm going to have to go to one of my other brushes to just come along the edges of these armour plates here. Cool. Right, let's wash this out. I'm just going to go back to one of my other brushes and give that a try. That pick is missing Mortarion. He is on my list to buy. Oh, okay, cool. For those of you who don't know who Mortarion is the demon prince, or of plague. Yeah, a lot of people say that he's their favourite. I like him. I don't see why he's their fave. You're allowed to have your own favourites, right? Where is my nice brush? Oh, it's over here. Okay, cool. Yep, definitely tidied up here the other day, didn't I? Cool. This is my size 1, hopefully. That's my size 0. I was struggling with one the other week. Can't remember which it is. I think it was my 0. So I'm going to go to my number 1. Let's give it a try. I think this one has less of an issue with rogue bristles, which is what I was struggling with on the Army Painter brush. There was a couple of rogue pointy bits, and I just trimmed them 0.5 millimeter too short, and the top just went straight, and I was like, damn, messed that up. Leslie says, doing some 3D printing going to check on the current one in a minute, set another one going, and then we'll start painting one of my Tyrannocytes. Ooh, cool. Photos, please. Oh, it didn't happen. Adrian has started on my Belisarius Cool model. Finished Lionel Johnson. Yeah, I've got a Cool model, and I've not done anything with him. He's been made because he was given to me, but unpainted. And I would like to paint him. But I've got a little project list kind of lined up, because if I'm going to attend the Recon show in December, I want to be able to have like a little display table of stuff that I've done on the show, and I'm going to be honest with you, very little of it is finished, so I kind of got like a priority list of stuff to do. I've also in October, and I challenge anyone to this as well, you're welcome to kind of join along, the more the merrier, October, so I'm going to be doing Gazgol. I've been challenged, friendly challenged. We decided to collaborate. John from Out of This World Models and Minis, he's getting quite the plug today. We're going to do him together. Not the same model, obviously. I've got the handshakes today. That's not cool. I had a very productive day at work, so maybe I'm just kind of on the come down a little bit. I got weeks of outstanding admin done. Oh, it was such a good feeling. I'm an outdoors adventure pursuits leader, but there is a hefty amount of office work involved, and I don't like it. I'm not an office person. Yes, it's nice to have a chair to go and sit in occasionally, because I'm getting old and lazy. But yeah, I hate admin. But I kind of caught up with it, and I think I've been a bit buzzy all day. And to come back to my point about over-watering my paints, I've definitely done that. So I might have to thicken that up a little bit in a second. So here's a question for Adrian. If you're painting Belisarius Cool, obviously I don't paint Mars with my Adeptus Mechanicus. I paint, I can't remember what they're called now. My brain has gone like to the four corners of the globe. Riser, there we go. Don't know why I was struggling to think of that. And I paint them like ochre and orange. But Belisarius Cool comes from Mars. Can I paint him up and use it? You paint him up as if he was in Riser colours, and say that he is an equivalent to Belisarius Cool and use his rules? Or if I wanted to use him, should I paint him up as Belisarius Cool in the Martian colours and just say that he's an attachment that's come along to join? Which would be more appropriate? I suppose if I was to paint him in Mars colours, it would lend a little diversity to the army on the table, wouldn't it? You'll notice I'm just going over everything twice here, because that first coat didn't do the greatest job of covering. I'm all up for a second coat, but that first one was too patchy. And it's like the first coat has kind of started to dry already, even just a little bit. So it is helping. And I'm trying to not be precious. That's the thing I've been taking with me for quite a while now. I can sit here and get too over perfectiony about every little plate on every little creature in a massive horde. As long as it's not glaringly obvious, no one cares. Unless I point it out to people, no one's going to see it. I keep touching my microphone with my headset. If that's coming through the sound, I'm really sorry. I've moved things around just a very few but clearly significant inches, and I've got into such muscle memory, I think, that I'm a little bit Bambi on ice. So other improvements I've made in the studio, I've upgraded all of my surge protectors. I've now got brand new surge protectors all over the place, so much more reliable power, supplies, etc., which is particularly important today because where I am in the UK, big weather warnings, massive thunderstorms with risks of flooding to homes and businesses, and if there's a thunderstorm today, obviously that brings lightning. I don't want to lose everything, ever. I can see some comments going in the live chat. I'll be right there, guys. That live chat, I'm going to start calling it the lively chat if it carries on, because we're getting to the point now where I can't keep up. You guys are so chatty, and that's great. That's what it's there for. I miss Kyle. Kyle's job, self-assigned job, was reading out the live chat. He loved it. But you know, on to bigger and better things. If you're watching this, bro, all the best to you. Cool, I think that's all the Carapacey bits done. Yes. I'm not going to give that another coat unless it dries thinner, because it looks pretty good. Some comments, let's have a little look. Reinstalling myself into painting space at the moment. Oh, into my painting space. I was like, what? How are you painting space? Into my painting space. Bought a large set of speed paint, so needed some extra shelving. Oh, cool. Let us know how you get on with those. There's a few people in the live chat, I think, who've kind of delved into speed paint. It's been interesting to see how you get on with them. Jeff says, I think parking behind a hotel for most of the games makes you last longer. That way, that while your teammates took on a big jet. Yeah, so what Jeff's saying here is that in the game, my only options because of the dice that I rolled were to start the game, roll forwards a few feet, park behind a hotel, stay there for 2/3 of the game, and then come out from cover, not shoot for ages, and when I did shoot, missed by 1 point on several occasions, and then went up in flames. So that was my that's what he's trying to say. Yeah. I wonder if I was able to roll better dice if we had actually performed better. But hey, at least we took one tank down with us, and that wasn't me. That was David Lester, who's just joined us this evening. Hi, Dave. Friendly or competition game, says Adrian. Oh, these were just a friendly game. You know, just everyone getting together, having a little bash, whatever. But maybe we should do like an Easy 8 competition. Maybe we could do an Easy 8 versus 3D Gizmo. Yes, Dave. Throwing out a little challenge on the first week of mentioning you. I haven't finished the grey on this one because gun. Pay attention. It's very watery, but it feels like it's not mixed properly, so maybe I need to give it a really good stir as well. As I'm putting it on, it feels like one bit goes on quite thick and opaque, and then the next 5mm of it kind of is all patchy and transparent. Peculiar. Okay, let's wash this brush out, and I'm going to add just a little bit more paint, just a fraction, and then I'm going to give it a really good mix because it's just misbehaving. Maybe the paint's dying and it's on its way out. Then go for riser colours and use as a counts as model, says Adrian. You reckon? Oh, I see. Friendly or competition games in reference to using cool, not the tanks. Yes, cool. Right, I understand. Yeah, do you know what? I've never played an official tournament. Obviously, you'll remember the days within this community and within our group of friends. For those people who don't know us, Adrian and myself are friends. Hopefully, you count me as a friend. And yeah, we have played tournaments, like friendly tournaments, where I have kind of organised them together. People make up a list, and everyone plays everyone, and it's just who gets the most points. That's the only tournament I ever really intend on playing. So yeah, do you reckon that there are like equivalents of Cool in other places, or is he like just a really big, unique kind of a dude? Because that's the impression I get. That's kind of why I'm asking. It's like, surely there's not more of him. I don't know. Maybe there are more that are similar. Okay, we're done on this one. Let's put you away. This one, who's got yay hands. Yay! I will not do that ever again. I'm so sorry. Cool. Not cool. Cool. Okay, I've mixed a bit of paint back into this mixture. Coming in with a wet brush, but with a bit of paint loaded on it. And I'm going to start underneath the shoulders this time. Citadel Dawnstone is a nice colour for that. What's the best colours for using for painting concrete? Dawnstone. You know, she's right. It's a nice colour. I've got nothing here. Painted in Dawnstone. Cool. Right. Well, moving on. That microphone is doing my head in. Can I move it? Maybe that'll help. Oh no! Drop the paintbrush. Obviously. Best time for everything. Was thinking how the dragon's teeth should look. Yeah, no, absolutely. Dawnstone is a good colour for doing dragon's teeth and concrete and things. And then you can mix a little bit of white into it and just do like a really light highlight over the top, and that will just help pick out the edges just a little bit. You don't want to go too intense with it, I don't think. And yeah, you'll be able to see the definition of the shape, and they'll stand out because they're so small for the tanks sizes, games that you want to play, or make them stand out. A personal opinion anyway. And they'll match in with your trenches that you bought and painted a little while ago. So Dave bought some resin trenches from Ironclad Miniatures. There's a link to Ironclad just down in the bottom again. Ironclad makes some fantastic resin terrain. I bought some railway tracks that I'm really looking forward to painting. I haven't got around to them yet, but I can't see it being too far away. I'm going to show you some projects in a little bit, maybe just after the intermission, and I will show you what I've been working on that brings painting those railways a little bit closer in time. Very exciting stuff coming up. I'm all stoked and geared up now for an inter-community water tanker tournament style match. We could, if 3D Gizmo community were to come to this area, we actually have access to a very affordable venue in a pub. Brilliant. Or maybe 3D Gizmo have got something similar near them. We could travel up and have a big tank battle. I'm sure that would be wicked fun. Oh, where my brain goes. Lately, Easy 8 has really been branching out into the community outreach, and that is just filling me with joy. So if you're new to the community, welcome and thanks for coming along. So many pointy outy bits on these models, they're so hard to hold. Jeff says, Dave, in 15mm, just a light grey, maybe a bit of a dirty wash, light grey dry brush. Yeah, I was thinking of a Stonewall grey with a slight wash. Yeah, all of these are great suggestions. Less is more, remember I was painting 15mm a little while ago. Less is more. It's so easy to kind of want to go really in depth with them, but it looks cluttered, it looks overkill. Struggling with this grey still. I wonder if maybe it's on its way out. Remember a couple of weeks ago I'd left it ever so slightly open and it started to dry. I think it was this one, maybe it was the Dawnstone. I don't remember half the time, you know. Don't know what I'm doing from day to day. My life is just a whirlwind in my head. Right, those little vertebrae bits that just go down the back here. I just paint the tops of them. Just touch the brush on the top. And then just down the sides. So with the dioramas that Dave at 3D Gizmo makes, some people in his local community have bought the diorama sets. I say the dioramas, they're like facades, so they're like the fronts of houses that are all blown out and damaged with a little bit of street in front of them. Absolutely incredible detail, and there was some of his community that come along with, and they were displaying their 1/16th and 1/35th builds. Incredible displays, really good. There was one of the Battle of Carentan and it was just absolutely fantastic, and I'm obsessed with the European theatre in World War II. I don't know why. It just feels do you know, I'm not even going to describe the feeling very well. It feels real. I know it was real, but I feel somehow more connected to it in terms of a real history than I do other theatres or even periods, you know, like World War One, etc. I don't have much of an affinity to it. Hard for me to understand or appreciate what it was like. Same with the North African campaign. I don't really get it. I don't really understand it. But I suppose maybe because I live in Northern Europe, maybe that's the thing. Or maybe it's just because I've seen more media, more movies and things. It just feels more familiar. And all those displays at the model show were just fantastic. And there was one gentleman who showed me his 1/35th builds and dioramas, where he likes to put something so minute that you'd never find it unless he showed you. And he showed me, and there was a 1/35th butterfly on a fence post. On one of his tanks, there was a guy sticking his head up out of the cupola, leaning across the top of the turret, and was looking at a lizard on the mantlet. Brilliant, just brilliant. Makes me want to do similar things. Struggling with my opacity today. Just get it on thick, Danny, don't worry about it. There you go. What was the catchphrase last week? Lush. There we go. Wash this brush out. And pop this one down. One more to go in terms of base layers. The Great War, narrated by Sir Michael Redgrave. I believe it's Redgrave. It's hidden behind the little heart symbol again. Available on YouTube. 2 documentary series for you to watch. Okay, cool. Do you know what? I'll do that. I love learning about it all. That's what the hobbies really, the historical side of the hobbies really brought for me is learning about all this stuff. When I've been painting 1/35th builds or even 15mm builds and 28mm builds, struggling with my words, I had to go and research things to understand what it is that I'm painting before I go and apply paint. And I've learned so much about like metal road wheels. Who knows about metal road wheels? I do. I know a lot about them. Nerd. I love it. I love it. The gargoyle's looking pretty awesome. Some may say killer. If you keep on like that, people will flock to see it. Stop it. That's it. All I'm going to do now is puns all night. It's your fault. Yeah, I have to get so flappy. Okay, I'm done. I'm just going to wing it for the rest of... Oh, dear. You're to blame. Hello? It doesn't really matter about these paints being transparent, or this particular layer being transparent, because this is only going to be a small portion really of these armor plates. But if there's a bit that's transparent in the wrong place, when I'm doing the highlights later on, it'll just show through yellow. So I've got to do my best. It's not like I can just go, oh, that's good enough, because later on you'll still be able to see the yellow through it. The idea is that it should be darker the closer it gets to an overlap, to simulate shadow to some degree and just to kind of give it some sort of depth. Thank you. These puns are soaring, aren't they? Stop. Metal road wheels, you rivet counter, you. Yeah. you like, I can tell you a little bit about them. So they started making metal road wheels for various reasons. Some of the reasons were that they were going through their rubber manufactory too quickly and that they were running out of it. So that's a later concern. As far as I'm aware, that was a later thing. They had started making metal road wheels because they were putting heavier and heavier and longer guns on the smaller tanks, like the Panzer IV, for example. Had, by the end of the war, really long guns, and it puts too much weight on the front of the tank and it pulls the tank down. Only a fraction, really, but it puts pressure on those front wheels and it just tears the tyres up, so that they don't afford any grip inside the tracks. So they started making metal road wheels and just started putting a few, like a couple on, like maybe the front two on the Panzer IVs, and then the rest would be rubber. Just made them survive longer. Other reasons were just bigger or heavier tanks. So you'll see some variations of later tanks that are just all metal road wheels. And then, of course, you know, the lack of rubber. Really interesting. Stealth apparently was not a factor in their warfare. Right, do you know what? In the intermission, I'm totally going to move that microphone. That's like the 10th time I've headbutted that now. I'm still doing it. I'm still doing it. Cat hair just sat on top of the arm there. Might have to get that with a pair of tweezers in a bit. Oh, do you know, this bit takes so long. I'm so glad I've got like a faster way of dealing with this bit. My partner's baking a cake. And I know that's not for me, so it's not like I can get a cake intermission, which is frankly really rude and upsetting. Thank you, these puns are soaring on. You're going to drop the mic. I can't. It's ceiling mounted, actually. To be honest, I wish I hadn't ceiling mounted. I wish I'd wall mounted it to the wall that's directly in front of me, where the light and the camera is. It didn't need to be up there. I thought I was being too big for my britches, basically. I thought that would be really cool. An idea that came to me from the old studio, which was a totally different layout. This, like I've said before, this is in the loft of my house. So I've got like the diagonal eaves either side of me. The ceiling height is much lower downstairs. When I had the old studio, the room was about 9 feet tall, just square. So yeah, having a ceiling mounted microphone or camera were options that were viable. I was just being a bit, I suppose, just cavalier when it came to this one. Right, you're damaging my calm. Stop it now. I'm gonna wash this brush out. It's getting a bit gacky. There's something wrong with this paint today. I don't know what it is. I'll have to investigate further, but not this evening. It's being weird, and I can't get it to play ball properly. Do you know, I just don't know what's going on. Cray. What's the best thing to use as a base for the dragon's teeth? I would pop it on something like thin MDF. Be careful because that will warp when you start adding anything like paint or plaster or anything like that to it. Obviously if you use anything with any sort of thickness, it will stand up like a step and will look out of place, so you might want to bevel the edges down to a smooth blend into the floor of your gaming mat or whatever. But I think MDF is probably your best bet. Could use foam core. Foam core would be very light. It's harder to get that beveled edge so smooth, so you'd have to cut it down and then probably use some sort of filler onto it. You could use cards, but cards will bend and warp very, very freely and will probably upset you. Got any plastic card? Yeah, 3mm or 5mm MDF. Good question. Probably an answer that Jeff could hit you with, but I would just go with 3mm. No need to go over the top, is there? Because I think at that scale, the difference in the thickness will add so much height, nearly double the thickness, and 6mm or 5mm is quite a bit. 3mm is, you know, if I was to use any kind of MDF really for anything here, yeah, 3mm is more than enough. Right, I think it's the head bit done there. Onto the gun. I need a cup of tea. Yum. Cheesehead. think I'm in danger of getting a little bit carried away here. I think I should probably just leave this alone now. Got a problem with this paint and I don't know what it is. But I'm happy I've got to the end of all of that basing colour. We are now at 8 o'clock. We're a little bit late for our intermission. So let's go and have one, basically. I'm just going to sit there and let those dry for a minute, and then I'm going to come back with a little bit of Dawnstone. This is the grey we were just talking about a minute ago. And yeah, basically just start trying to apply those highlighted edges. So where one plate overlaps another, it should be darker, so the further out towards the edges of those armour plates that I'm getting, I want to make them lighter, and then later on I come in with a highlight and just pick out the edges of them, but all the while trying to maintain those striations, those lines, like the cracked shell or the split toenail thing. What a horrible thing to say. So yeah, I struggled with that last week because the way that I was applying it, but I think with a little bit of practice, maybe just kind of get the basic colour down and then come in with lines later, trying to be speedy all the time, just making sure that they're all good to go. I think they are fantastic. In the meantime, I'll see you in a brief 10 minutes. Whatever it is that you're about to go and do, go change your paint water, because like mine, it probably needs changing. I'll see you in a few. Bye-bye now. Welcome back. I've moved my microphone. It casts a shadow on my face, and I don't know how I feel about that, but do you know what? I'd rather you be able to see me nice and clearly and have a microphone that you can hear me on without me bashing my head on it all the time. You might also notice that the image looks a lot sharper. For some reason, I've never even fathomed on how to make the image clearer on this camera. I just increased the sharpness. That was that. Did I even need to go and buy this new camera to make it sharper? I don't know. Maybe I'll do some more tests and see what happens. I like the resolution on this new camera. I think I just need to lift it up a bit more again. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think. Jeff was just saying before we went away there for break, just suggesting to Dave that like card, like stiff card, a few layers added together to kind of mount his dragon's teeth on for his 15mm tank war games. It's probably more than enough. And you're absolutely right. Yeah, it would be. Card still warps, so you got to be careful. Yeah, but card's great. I love card. So before I get back onto painting these little fellas, I said that after the intermission, I would show you some of the projects that I've been working on. So what I'm going to do, ever so quickly, is I'm going to pop back over to the workbench and I'm going to show you, because you're going to need to see it in all its corners. Maybe not. Oh, do you know what? Before we go over there, I'll show you. So I've been working on, for the last couple of, say, weeks, months really, some terrain boards by Animalia Games, Animalia Originals. These guys are supported very heavily by the Pit Gaming Shop, and it's how I got talking to Matt and the team at the Pit, because of these wonderful terrain boards, and a little bit of a relationship kind of blossomed out of that. I bought a whole bunch of sets of these terrain boards for my tank games in 15mm, but you could do any scale in them. And what I've been trying to do is get some ideas together, get some materials together based on those ideas, to start making them look like fields and things, and you know, the European theatre of war. So I've been testing out some products. This is just a piece of the MDF that comes with their terrain boards, and I've been kind of flocking over the top, and I'll give you a closer look on those. The actual boards are a foot square. This is a little hill section, so on the underside you can see the frame. If you want to know more about the Animalia terrain boards, I have done a quick feature on building one, which you can find if you just go and have a little look for like the products, reviews and things like that I do. There's only a couple of them out there. I did a half-hour video on kind of putting one of these together, and it was an absolute dream to put it together. I've now got a whole 4-foot square table that I can put together. Because of the options that I've got, you can only put it together in like 1 or 2 ways really, but they are still fantastic. I do intend to buy more. With this hill, you can see that it's not MDF on one side. It looks like earth or soil. And the idea is to do grasslands over the top of it, but not completely cover it, so you can't see the stuff on it anymore. The idea is to have it like in patches, mud would show through. Having this underneath kind of also stops it from just looking like it's really flat MDF, because MDF is so flat that when you flock on it, you go, that's a very flat terrain. The idea is that you can sculpt and build and do things and kind of make undulations in your terrain. This is just a one test. When I do more, I'll be putting layers down on top of it to kind of make it look like it's irregular ground and things. And you can see that this one kind of increases the height level on the way around. This stuff here is just the vivarium bedding that you get for reptiles. I bought a block of it for about £4.50 off of Amazon. It's pH neutral, so it's completely sanitary. It's sanitized stuff, and it's made from coconut husk. It looks a little bit like dirt when you're kind of playing with like woody dirt, and it comes with a lot of hairs. And I'm going to do a whole feature on this, on how I tackle all of those problems. The idea is it just kind of gives something a slightly irregular shape with a feature underneath the grass to kind of make it look a bit more realistic. If I take you now over to the workbench, here we go. Music change as well. Here you can see it on one of my test pieces, a bit patchy there, but I quite like that as well. And you can see that it's got lots of like hairs and things all over it. Yeah, part of the task has been trying to reduce that amount on there. I quite like it how it kind of clumps in lumps and things like that, but too much lumpiness makes it quite difficult to stick the flock to. The flock will stick to those clumps and it will just kind of look a little bit irregular. If those lumps were mounds, it would look better. It would look like baby heads, or tufts or whatever, or you could just put tufts in there. can see that if I drag my fingers across it here, it has pulled it away where it was sticking to the clumps because the clumps are just so delicate. So a lot of this has been trying to reduce the amount of clumping by rubbing my hands over it. And if I just zoom out here we go. This is the terrain board here. So you can see that it's kind of patchy in places, and there's a lot more kind of like coconut hair and stuff on there. It's not that bad. I've actually reduced it by quite a lot using one of my specially designed techniques. And I'm hoping to eventually create the whole landscape using this technique by putting some of this stuff down and then flocking 1mm grass over the top. 1mm is all I need for 15mm war games. I don't need anything more. And it turns it into a nice fuzzy felt table. Once I've kind of reduced the amount of clumping, you can see that it just comes away on my fingers there. There's a piece just rolled off right there. Once I've reduced the amount of clumping, I'll have a nice even-ish sort of terrain. I can make it patchy and make it look like the grass has got muddy patches in it. I'm really looking forward to it. I want to make these look really, really nice. I've got a really nice friendly discount from the Pit Gaming store with Matt on these, and I want to do something that's worthy of the Pit Gaming shop and Animalia, who's supported by the Pit. And then when I take them to Recon, we can play on them and have a look at them and stuff. It'll just be a really nice feature to do. So if you're interested in having terrain boards, go and check out Animalia Originals. There's a link in the description just down there. You should definitely go and check them out. I'm really happy with the progress. It didn't take an awful lot of time to do this. It was really, really good fun as well. I made quite a lot of mess. And if you were keeping up on Facebook, you will know that I upset my partner by using the cheese grater. That was funny, but not. I've been told I have to get my own cheese grater. The reason I had to get the cheese grater is because the vivarium, not terrarium, the vivarium stuff comes like this. It looks like tobacco. It is so solid, it is tougher than wood. I had to saw this with a very, very aggressive tree saw. It took me about 20 minutes, but it's just a little block. That's all it is there. And you can see that it's just substrate. That's all it is. Yeah. And when I cut a big block of it off, I just stuck it on the fine cheese grater setting. You know, the one that looks like just tiny little perforation holes that looks really aggressive if you rub your knuckles over it, and it turns into this stuff. And what I was doing the other day is I poured it all over the table, much to my partner's ire. And I'm trying to avoid clumps that are like this sort of size. Let me zoom in again. Here we go. So clumps that are this sort of size, they're too much for the scales that I'm working in. Really good for 28mm and above, I suppose. But yeah, I want to break it down, and it turns into dust. And it's the dusty stuff and the stuff just above the size of dust that I'm really looking for. Look how that's crumbled away. Stick a layer of PVA glue down, sprinkle that all over the top of it, let it dry, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Flock, done. You've got yourself a terrain board. If you are interested in getting those terrain boards, you should definitely go to animaliagames.com. There's a link down there. Head over to the tab that says Animalia Originals, where they've designed and made their own stuff. And they've got a 3D builder, so you can choose from a drop-down menu on the side the things that you're looking for, be it river sections, etc, etc, and then you can literally map out three-dimensionally the field that you want to, and it gives you the product codes that you can take over to a shopping cart. Don't take them to the shopping cart there. Take those product codes and the quantities that you're looking for, head on over to the Pit Gaming shop, link in the description down the bottom, and then you'll get a 15% discount for shopping online with the Pit Gaming shop. And they supply all of Animalia stuff. That way, Animalia are selling some products through the Pit Gaming shop. The Pit Gaming shop are making revenue through you, and we keep this harmonious little cycle of the community going. And they're wonderful people, both at Animalia and over at the Pit Gaming shop. Go and have a little look, show them some love, because wonderful guys. Once I've kind of mastered that technique that I'm trying to do, I'm going to be looking at the river sections that I've got, and I'm really looking forward to those river sections. They are a little bit on the wide side for the 15mm games that I want to play. I've showed you before the two bridges that I want to kind of build or make. Here they are from Debris of War. Again, Debris of War is a link in the description in the video. Go check out Anthony, because he's a nice guy and he makes some wonderful resin terrain. I've got this double arch bridge here, and I've got the single arch bridge here. These were designs that were replicated. Can't remember the sculptor's name. It's the second time I've done this. I'm so sorry. But my dad, Jeff from Purple Line Creations, in the live chat there, designed and made the 28mm versions of these that Anthony at Debris of War now molds out of resin for you, so you can buy these in different scales. These were done by a different sculptor, but they match quite closely. Unfortunately, because of the width of the rivers on those sections, I might have to bring the riverbanks right in. But what I'm going to try and do is actually do like muddy salt flats all the way along the edges of the river and make them look quite realistic. And that might mean then I can use the longer bridge here. If that still doesn't work, then I'll just build a bridge from scratch and just use these as scattered terrain for games when I'm not playing with those terrain tiles. These are really nice models, and they're really, really affordable, and you need to go and have a look at Debris of War because it just does everything. Go and check them out, they're really cool. You won't be disappointed. To make those riverbanks, this is the stuff that I've been waiting for. It has taken ages to get this stuff. This is sculptor mold. And sculptor mold compound is basically like paper mache, but it's kind of got like a plaster mix in there as well, and you just add a little bit of water, and it dries rock hard, and you can get some really nice effects. It's really easy to work with, and I believe Jeff, my dad, uses this for almost all of the products that he builds when he's building riverbanks, hedgerows, roads, everything. I think the sculptor mold goes into it. He's currently working on a project for a customer where he's used 11 kilos plus of this stuff. I've got a kilo bag right here. Sculptor mold. It's quite hard to get hold of. It's taking me so long to do it. So Matt at the Pit Gaming Shop has been wondering, what have I been doing with all my time? When I said that I was going to do a feature for him, I've been waiting for that stuff, man. I'm so sorry, but now I've got it. I can start. Anyway, that's the terrain boards. Go check them out. They are really, really good terrain boards. I've got behind this curtain over here. There's a whole stack of them over there, and I'm hoping they're going to look really, really cool. I want to take them to Recon so you guys can have a look at them and even play games on them, and contemplating even maybe passing them on. That's just the thought I've had recently. Anyway, let's get on with some painting. Before we do, if you do like what we do here at Easy 8, or if you just like me because I'm handsome and charming, then please do subscribe to the show, because every little gesture from your part makes such a tremendous impact at this end. And like I said earlier on, every subscription is precious. I feel every single one. We've had some new ones lately. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy what we do here. Yeah, there we go. Back to the workbench. Cool. My watch has just said it's 10 minutes to sunset. Wow, those nights are really coming in now, aren't they? Back down here we go. So, this is one I did last week. I'm now going to get some lighter grey. This is Dawnstone. You can see there's a little separation layer in there, so it needs a really good shake. Wait for it. You can do it now because there's a delay. Type it now. You know what you've got to do. You know what you've got to do. I'm not going to do this forever because it really hurts my arm. Wazomatic. You're welcome. Wazomatic. I think it's just stuck to the sides. I think it is actually mixed. Was it? Still too late, mate. You got to be like preempty on that. Preempty is a word. Okay, cool. Let's crack on because we've only got 35 minutes left, and I don't feel like I've done an awful lot today. A lot of yapping. I've always got a lot of things to say though. This is the one that I left open. That's why it's not mixed up so well. Okay, let's get scoopy. Here we go. My tatty little brush that I use for pulling paint out of pots and mixing things. Put that in there. I definitely need some new Dawnstone. This is. Hey Dave, if you get some new Dawnstone, I'll have a pot. I have ruined this, haven't I? Did I buy some new Dawnstone? No, I bought some new Screaming Skull. That's what I bought recently. Poo pants. Okay. Do you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to mix Flow Improver into it. I don't think it was the problem I had earlier on. I think that is literally the paint. But I don't want to risk it, so I'm just going to add some water to water this down. Just clean the brush out there. Okay. Drop of water. Same sort of consistency of mud. It's very peculiar. Nice, okay. Clean the old brush out. There we go. Lush. Right. Pointy brush. Going to start on this back plate here because it's the easy one to work on. And what I'm going to do is get some paint, moist brush, dab that off onto the cloth over there. There we go. Now I've got a moist brush that can hold and transfer paint really well. Nice point on it. And let's get some paint on there. Not too much. Enough that I can still use the point. Here we go. And now, let's get comfy in the chair. Mind your tail spike. Probably a little bit too runny. By dabbing like this, I'm getting is working that paint on in lines, which will benefit me when I'm trying to make those. I call them striations, splits, cracks, the lines that I want to paint into it. Might have to go over them in the second coat with this batch of paint that I've just mixed up with water. Going on a little transparent. I just took a little bit of paint that was a little bit thicker. That's a little bit easier now. That's better. That's alright, that's good. Just around the front of this little shoulder collar bit here. It's epaulets. Yeah, that's the word. Down to the second plate down here. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the underside as well while I'm here working on this bit. Doesn't matter so much what it looks like underneath. Very rarely going to see it. Cool. The second plate. Do you remember last week where I tried to fill this gap with paint? Didn't work. Doesn't matter though, it's alright. The cat hair there as well. Okay, here we go. Tweezers. Where are you? I saw you. Did I get it? Nope. Okay, those tweezers don't want to get it. Where are my Tac-X clamps? Here they are. I think I got it. Cool. my concentration voice. I've gone very quiet now, haven't I? Did you get your clear rods yet? No, they are coming at the end of this month, as far as I remember. Leslie's having a taker's leave early. Take care, guys. Thanks for another awesome show. You're welcome. Take care, man. Thank you very much for coming along. Stay well over the coming week. Don't forget photos, Leslie. Photos. I want to see this Tyrannocyte that you're painting, printing, making. This is such a fast way of doing this as well. I'm so happy. I decided to do it this way. So much faster, so much better. Nice. Cool, huh? Right. Water, just a touch. Keep those bristles moist. Otherwise the paint won't move. Okay, my hardly wanted paint. Let's have a look at this one over here for reference. Put my headset on properly because it's fallen off. That's the one I did last week. Okay, so pointy spike, all grey. Gotcha. Right, nice. So I think gentle highlights around the front. Something like that, maybe. Want the edges and the pointy bits to be highlighted. So I'm going to try and keep that dark grey somewhere in the middle of that horn. It's like a little, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but there's like a little bit of a pattern just in there. And I'm going to try and keep that as like the dark grey bit, I think. Like that. And then inside, back, like this. And the highlights on this sort of feature make it look pointy and sharp, like it's got an edge. consistent on both sides. That's the tricky bit. Bit of water in the bristles. Help move that paint around. Okay. Now onto the other plates. This can be very exciting to watch for those. So for those of you that are sticking around, thank you very much for making it this far into the show. Share your love by subscribing if you haven't already, or share the word. If you know someone out there who needs a little hobby community to come and join, this is a place where you can kind of make those friends and talk about the hobby and watch me make a mess. Adios amigos, says Scallion TV. See you later, Scallion. Thank you very much for coming along. When these are done, is that a full bug army then? Or do you have more? No, I've got loads more. It never stops. It never stops. I've opened the window ever so slightly. You can hear the rain coming down out there. That storm that we're talking about, it's here. I think we're supposed to be expecting like a month's worth of rainfall in a night. So you should definitely stay safe out there, guys. Oh, this is tricky. This is tricky. Just trying to pick up the edges. This highlight colour. Well, mid-light colour. Oh, there we go. Cool. Nice, okay, over to the gun. What did I do with last week's gun? I highlighted the front end. Okay. So, here. There's a bit of a centre line here, so I could. Highlight that a little bit. I was stuck to the cutting mat then, that was unpleasant. I had a shower before I started the show and everything, and I feel like I've got to have another one. It's so warm up here. So muggy and close. Yuck. Gross. I need to get my little tiny brush out for this next bit, because that's hard to get in there. What other bugs do you have? Well, painted, I've got the Trigon, I've got the Carnifex, I've got 1.5 Tyrant Guard. I've got a load of Hormagaunts and Termagants that are all painted as well. And I've got some Warriors. They're old Warriors though. They are matched in with this, but they do look okay. I've got a Broodlord, which looks really sweet. But I need some more stuff. I need some more stuff to put together, because it's I played against Kez, where she hit me with Space Marines, and it was a very anti-armor list as well. So it was just high-powered, lots of shots as well. Just tore me to pieces. I think I barely made a couple of kills. But yeah, so I'm used to playing with lots of unpainted models or half-painted models. I wanted to try and use stuff that I mostly had painted. So yeah, that kind of crippled me. Things to go. Gene stealers, lots of gene stealers. It's very expensive in terms of points to field as many gene stealers as I've got in the box, so I can still do them up in batches. That'll be okay. I like to paint up. I've got a Bivor painted up, but the new Bivor is a sexy looking model. It just looks like it's come out of Starship Troopers, but without being too Starship Troopers, if you know what I mean. It's just, yeah, it's a nice model. I've got spore mines all painted up. I love spore mines. I've got that I want to paint. What I'm trying to do is master this sort of aesthetic to paint up the Forge World, now out of production model Winged Hive Tyrant. So especially doing wings now, I'm kind of really happy that I'm experimenting with this, and I want to put in a lot of time and effort into making that. That's something probably for next year, but it's there waiting to go. It needs a little bit of repair work done to it, because I bought it second hand off of eBay from someone who was getting rid of it. You can't get those anymore. So I'm very pleased to have that in my collection. That's not my little micro brush. Where's my micro brush? I see it. Here it is. Cool. Some moisture in the bristles. Some paint on the end. Go. It's not a very good amount of paint on that brush. Let me start that again. This paint's in a bad state, so it's drying up pretty quickly, and it's not doing a very good job of it either. It's all kind of, it almost looks like mud. So, yum. I do the fresh bit out of the pot, but I've got just this little bit to finish. So I messed it up a little bit on the front end of this gun, so I'm just going to try and neaten that up. There we go, that's much better. Better brush to be doing with it in general, I think. Okay, over the top of the wings. About 10 to 15 minutes away from finishing the show. Maybe about 15, because I was a few minutes late today, wasn't I? And if you want to, you can join me after the show on Discord. There's a link down at the bottom in the description. Come and join me for a video chat, or you can just be a caller if you want to. Just join me on the microphone, or you can tippy type. Whatever suits you. One little bit in there that I'm trying to get into, and that's really difficult. Let me try and get in shot a little bit more. What kind of poop does that one fire then? This one here, it's got a flesh borer in its hands. This is like one of the standard little guns that you get. This fires a little beetle that gestates, well, it lives as a larvae inside the gun, and a bioelectrical pulse shoots it out really fast, and on its way through the air it germinates, is that the right word? Grows very quickly, turns into an adult, a mature borer beetle, and then it hits its target, where it gnashes very fast. Just a small little bug, you know, hits you in the armor, goes right through and comes out the other side. And when you get hit by lots of those, it kills people. So, yay. And then you get the flesh borer hive. So when you get the really big monsters, they have like arms that are just covered in, I suppose like they look like barnacles, but they fire out hives of them, and they're devastating. It's one of my favourite weapons in the Tyranid collection. I think it's just a really nice sort of concept. Like I said last week as well, like I really like the Barb Strangler, which is a it basically fires a seed that is a giant alien bramble bush, which germinates inside a victim, rapidly turning into a giant alien bramble bush, which is not like any brambles we got here, and it takes out like parts of squads or whole squads if you're lucky. So not great on the armor piercing, but great on the clearing squads. That's one of my faves too. They've got some really good sort of concepts for weapons in the Tyranid stuff. I was enjoying the shock cannon on the hive guard that I made a little while ago. Sorry, Tyrant guard that I made a little while ago. No, it's a hive guard, where basically just fires a big bony barb, but it's all electrified, like an electrical eel, I suppose, electric eel. And it's like really good at taking out vehicles. I was just not rolling very good to hit dice that day either. So where it had the capability of destroying most Space Marine armor, it wasn't doing it because I wasn't hitting. Cool. This one's done. Yeah. Hey Dave, next time we team up in tanks, Danny takes point, no hotel rests. Too true. Do you know what? I want to do my part. I just wasn't allowed to. The dice didn't allow for it, okay? Don't hold it against me, man. Right, that one's done. Can I get another one done before the end of the show? Probably not, but you can see me finish them off on Discord. Okay. I'll use the paint that I've got here on the end of this brush here. This might be the brush to do it all in. That looks really good. I like this new method, you know. I'm going to keep on saying it, but it's really working. It's perfect for this horde, type of horde creature. Oh, do you know what? I did too much on there at that time. Spread that out a bit. This has got a couple of rogue bristles right at the end there. I'm using them to help create those lines that I really wanted. So yay for me. Might have to come along, just flesh the body of that grey out a little bit later on, but that's okay. as long as tanks can't get between them, then good. Does it matter how far apart the dragon's teeth should be? Yeah, no, as long as tanks can't get through them, no, it should be fine. Doesn't really matter. You could just say that it's area denial, right? I suppose if you're making like whole lines of them, then you probably, and I suppose depending on the mission that you want to play, but you want to have the ability to get past them somehow. So you want to have gaps in them somewhere down the line, right? That's my interpretation here. You don't want to like just block off access to a whole area unless you want to have like a bit of a shooting match. So you could have it so like access is gained right down the other end of the table, but you kind of got to drive to get down there and sort of circumvent that physically. Oh, I've gone over the edge a little bit. Let's see if I can just clean that up. And you can just see, just on this bottom plate here, just went a little bit overzealously there, I think. Do I have to go in with a little bit of the dark grey? Kind of go over it again? Yeah, I'm probably going to have to. Okay, cool. Just dry up that water. Let's get a little bit of that dark grey. It's dried up in the palette. The dab of water. Problem fixed. I think same size gap as the teeth, if you get me. Yes, fine, have lots and lots of dragon's teeth. Yeah. Do them in sets of sort of 6 or 10 poss. Easy to fit them into the train that way. They will be once you get the base material. I think the actual, if you remember, we were looking at them because Kez had printed them on the 3D printer. They come in like a little batch, but they don't just come in that sort of triangle shape. That is a part of a set that allows you to kind of have them in certain shapes. So you could have like a line, but then that triangle shape changes the angle, and then the line would carry on in another direction. So they are designed as a sort of a tessellating set, if you get my meaning. Of course, you could just put them together however you want. This is looking really good, really, really good. I'm really happy. So these little vertebrae at the back here, because I've painted the whole piece of the vertebrae in the dark grey, being the top and the sides. When it comes to using this grey here, I'm just painting the tops. So now when you kind of look at it from the side, you can see that it's got the dark colour, and then when you view it from an angle or above, you can see it's got the lighter colour on there as well. And when I come in to do the highlights, I don't even know if I need to do anything with it, but I could just do like one tiny little dot on one sort of corner of them, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm kind of getting a little bit of everything on there. This one's got a little pokey nose horn. Gotta love a pokey nose horn. Flying rhinos. Like to think that it's kind of like some sort of aerial rudder on its head, but that means it wouldn't be able to look anywhere without doing sharp high G turns. So that might be not the intended use. What's over there? G10. Struggling to get this paint in the places that I want to. I'm going in, I'm hyper focusing on unnecessary detail. All I need to do is just get some sort of highlight on the front end of this armor plate, on this spike. Don't need to worry about the way that the highlight comes down from the top of that horn. It doesn't need that sort of attention to detail. Bigger model, like the big high tyrant, yes, that sort of attention to detail. Exactly what I want, but on these little guys, I've got to learn to keep it simple. Here we go. That's keeping it simple. That's good. Very easy to get suckered into that kind of mentality of, oh, gotta make it look really intense. No need. Oh, that was kind of the idea I was trying to get. Yeah, that looks good. Can I get this head finished before we go for the end of the show? Don't rush it, don't rush it. We're pretty much there, aren't we? We're pretty much 5 past now. There, done. Still got to do the gun on that one, but I'll finish that off in a minute. That would take very long. starting to make some traction now. Starting to make some speed through these. I'm going to try my best, I think, to get the armor plates finished over this week, so that when we come to next week's show, that carapace stuff is done. I'm looking at just kind of doing some of the details, claws, teeth, things like that. There's some little pipes on the guns, easier to show you on a different model. Yeah, this one here, Mr. Yay Wings. You can see right here, there's like a little pipe that comes off the back of the gun. See that just there? Yeah, the focus isn't very good on this, is it? So just here, that's pretty cool. That's going to be painted differently. Some little details in there. There's a little eye in there, some eyes, tongue. Obviously, those little details that won't take me very long. And then, of course, I can get on to staining the wings, which is the kind of the finishing touch, the pièce de résistance. I don't even know what that means. Piece de résistance, the good bit that we're all waiting for. And then until I get those bases, those rods, they're kind of done. To do that, I'm going to chop these wooden stake things out of here, and then drill back through a little bit to make a hollow, get the clear plastic rods, acrylic rods, which I'm hoping are going to be about the same sort of diameter as this. They might not be, in which case waste of time waiting for them, and then stick them on the old bases, and then they'll look really cool. I don't want the clear plastic bases to be the bits that are just, you can just see the clear bits. I'm going to do some sort of work on them. Maybe I'll do a test one on that, because it might look like that the clear plastic rod is going through a hole, and that might look tacky, so who knows. Anyway, we're done here, right? Let me just put this one over here. Cool. Gonna come back to you in a minute. You're my reference model. Okay, let's come away. I don't know how to. Here we go. Forgetting all my buttons. Yeah, cool. Oh, there's that cat hair that flew away earlier. Gotcha. Yeah, a productive evening. I need to do a bit of catching up. I haven't done anything over this last week. All my buttons are showing. I've told you I'm getting too fat for this shirt. I need to do a bit of catching up this week because I haven't done anything last week, and I really want to get those grey bits done. Because while I'm doing a normal painting club thing, it can be very entertaining for you guys to watch. So I will do more. Do more French funny piece de résistance. I've been told that the more silly accent style you go in, the more accurate you are going to be if you're an English person trying to do that accent. So there you go. How have you been getting on with your projects this evening? If you've been working on something this evening, I genuinely would love to see it. I'm struggling to put my teeth back in. If you are so willing, take a photo of it, stick it up on Facebook, put it over at Discord if you want to. They're getting lots of traffic over at Facebook at the moment, so if you want to show your stuff off, I genuinely would love to see it. There's been loads of stuff going up on there this evening, so please flood Easy8's Facebook with your work, because I want to see it and I want to be inspired and see the stuff that you do. Yeah, cool. Also, remember, if you're interested in getting some terrain boards, if you just want to do like one and have it as like a display board, go and check out Animalia Terrain. Oh my god, Animalia Terrain, Animalia Originals down there in the description of this video. And of course, make sure that you go and pay attention to all of the people that have got links down there. You've got Jeff at Purple Lion Creations, you've got Colin at Charlie Foxtrot models, you've got Out of This World Models and Minis with John. Hi John. John and I are going to be participating in October, and I challenge you guys to participate in October too. Find yourself an orc model, any orc model you like. You've got the whole of October to start and finish that model, and then at the end we'll have like a little gallery that I'll put it up on the Facebook page and on Discord as well, where we can show off our community's efforts for October. Of course, John and I have said that we're going to do Gazgul, which is the big orc war boss. I don't know if I'm biting off more than I can chew with that one. I might have to do a lot of prep work on it. So what I might do, with an arrangement with John, because we're both working people, we've got our own lives to consider as well. I mean, John's got kids and I've got the kids at work, which it feels like it's just as much effort. You know, we've got to kind of navigate that as well. So it might be that maybe we do 6 weeks, so a week either side of October. I don't know, just kind of spitballing some ideas out. But John and I are going to hopefully have a catch up real soon, hash out some ideas, what is it we're going to do with our challenges. We're going to obviously, I've got this weekly show where I will be doing on the show and some stuff in between. Maybe I'll do some like little snippet videos, put them on Facebook as well. John's going to be doing regular video updates on his, probably, and launching them on out of this world mods and minis, and you should definitely go check out that YouTube channel. Again, there's a link down there in the description because he just paints up really cool stuff, and he's done the 1989 Tim Burton Batmobile, and it looks sick. There was actually that very same Batmobile done at the North Devon Model Show, and it had the lights in it, but while I think it was a slightly bigger model than what John was painting, and John's has got more lights in it, and the lights look cool, and it looked really, really awesome. So yeah, go show John some love because he's just a wonderful guy and he supports this channel, and we should go support his too. Yeah, so that's that. October, really looking forward to that. So go and get yourself a little model, get talking about it on Facebook, and come over here next week and talk about it with us then as well. In the meantime, that's it from me. Please don't forget that if you do like what we do here at Easy 8, please, I'm really struggling to talk, just subscribe, alright? It would mean the world to me if you subscribe. For some reason the live chats come back up there in the top corner again, but yeah, whatever. So yeah, subscribe, maybe thumbs up the video, it would mean a lot to me if you did. So thanks very much for watching this evening, especially if you watched all the way through, and me talking French and not being able to talk English. Anyway, see you next week. In the meantime, stay safe, be kind, keep on painting, take care, bye-bye. Piece de resistance.